The business update has been brought to you by First Southwest Bank and the La Plata County Economic Alliance.
You're watching Inside Durango News. I'm Monty Grushkin with your business updates. As the busy season in the real estate market wraps up for the year, the Durango Area Association of Realtors reports that the number of house sales has dropped by 6% from last year during the first 3 quarters of 2014. But that doesn't signal a problem with the economy. It may have more to do with the lack of houses available for sale. According to the association, the median price of a home sold in La Plata County increased by 9% over last year to $336,000. The median price of an in-town Durango home grew to $390,000. Median prices means that half the number of homes sold were greater than the median price and half were lower. Average prices tend to be higher. Average cost for an in-town Durango home was $442,000. If you're looking to sell your home, the Realtor Association suggests that you put your home on the market in the winter and early spring when fewer homes are available. For buyers, interest rates remain low. Is now a good time to refinance? Joining us in the studio today is Jennifer Boykin with the Mortgage Department at First Southwest Bank. Jennifer, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Moni. It's good to be here.
So everybody knows that buying a home is the American dream, and some people have already bought it. So if they want to refinance, what would you say to them right now?
Well, rates are pretty good right now. They're about 4% for a 30-year fixed. So depending on what your current rate or situation is, if you want to save money on your monthly payment, take the opportunity to take some cash out to do some home improvements, debt consolidation, it's a good time to really think about it, and we can help you figure out if that's the best move for you.
Okay, so what does somebody do? I mean, walk them through the process. They just come in and sit down and talk to you? Do they need to bring anything, come prepared?
Yeah, we do need a bunch of financials and things like that, but it's all a matter of preference. So I love one-on-ones. I like the relationship of that, but some people are busy. They want to do stuff online, on the phone, whatever works for them.
Okay.
But yeah, having the conversation initially to try and figure out what works best for their short-term and long-term goals is what we're here for.
Wonderful. So I hear the word lock in a rate. What exactly does it mean when you hear somebody say lock in an interest rate?
Well, rates move around multiple times a day. So just because it's at 4 this morning doesn't mean it's going to be that in the afternoon. So once you have a application in with your lender and you're in contract, then we can look at locking it or securing that rate for a specified amount of time, whether that be 15 days or 60 days, depending on the length of the contract and your transaction.
Okay, so you know, you hear a lot about the Fed and interest rates staying low. So what are you guys in the market seeing in terms of where interest rates go and what affects a change in an interest rate?
Well, the government's keeping the interest rates low currently to help stimulate the jobs market and the economy, so they don't want rates going up and hurting the economy. It's a step backwards.
Okay.
So for the time being, they're keeping rates low. At some point, they're going to start easing up on that. We don't know exactly when that's going to happen, but eventually at some point they will start rising.
And is there a correlation between like the stock market and interest rates or the job market and interest rates? Is there anything that makes sense these days?
Yeah, there's a lot that affects the interest rate, and most of the time it's semi-predictable, but stock market, unemployment figures, consumer confidence, retail spending, all these kind of things will affect the interest rates. So when the economy is good and healthy and stable, interest rates tend to rise up. When things are unstable or insecure, they tend to go down to kind of balance that out.
Okay, so going back to the American dream of buying a house, what exactly should people take into consideration as they think about and plan for getting a house in terms of how much it's going to cost them with respect to an interest rate?
Well, about 0.5% in interest rate at approximately a $200,000 loan amount will equate to about $58 in payment difference per month.
Okay.
So if the rates go up to 4.5%, it's going to cost you another $58 a month. Keeping the rates lower also equates to, say, that same figure, $12,000 in loan amount. So you have more buying power. With the rates lower, you can get more bang for your buck, so to speak.
And we talk about credit scores and how that affects interest rates. So tell us a little bit about what kind of behavior you need to focus on, like maybe 5 years before you think about buying a house so that you can qualify for a loan.
Clean living pays off. So everything stays on your credit for a minimum of 7 years up to 10 years. So talking to somebody ahead of time, planning ahead, talking to your mortgage consultant, so that you can put your best foot forward. Credit scores are really important. They affect your interest rate, whether or not you can qualify for a loan, gives you a lot more options.
And so my understanding is if the higher the credit score, the better.
Yes.
And if you have a higher credit score, you can actually qualify for a lower interest rate. Is that still the case?
Yeah, they're most of the time. A lot of the programs are risk-based, so depending on your score, you'll have a lower rate and lower mortgage insurance premiums if you have a higher credit score.
Okay, and so things to help you keep your credit score low would be like paying your utility bills, not getting into debt.
Keeping revolving debt at least a third of the credit line amount. If you're maxing out your credit cards, that's going to have an adverse effect on your credit score. Installment loans are better than revolving credit.
Okay.
Pay your bills when they're due, and it'll keep you out of trouble.
Great. So that's a few little tidbits about interest rates in a very short period of time. But if you'd like to learn more about refinancing or qualifying for your first loan, check in with your local bank. And if you don't have a local bank here, check in with First Southwest Bank. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for joining us today.
Thank you, Monty. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Next, the business update, brought to you by the First Southwest Bank and the La Plata County Economic Alliance.